Hey, it's Cliff with Elevate Music Production, and in this video I'll be showing you how to master your song for Spotify and other streaming services. Okay, first thing I use in this chain is Subtractive EQ. Pull up the EQ, then I cut everything very low just to cut out any rumble or mud that you won't even hear coming through the speakers anyway. Then I cut down here around 80 hertz to control the 808 because it's still kicking a little too hard. Next, we use Slate Digital FGX. It has a compressor, a maximizer, and a meter down here. So what I do with the compression is I set it to a slower attack so that the transients can come through, and then a faster release for transparency. 2-to-1 ratio because I don't want to squash it too much. Threshold just sits around 0 or -1 decibel. Then on the maximizer we have the low punch and the detail, which is lows and highs essentially, right at medium. Same with the dynamic perception. These are pretty much hand in hand. Then you have the gain, and this is how you add extra volume. Say I want it to go up 6 to 9 decibels. I have it on 6 here. You also have the option to go all the way up to 20 if you want, but this is what really drives the volume or the perceived volume all the way up and gets your mastering to a level that's the same as what you hear on Spotify and everything. Alright, third thing is Additive EQ, where I added probably about 1 decibel from 10K all the way up so that I could add some air. On the master bus channel, I added another EQ to tame a little bit more of those 808s because they were still hitting a little too hard. And then last, I do a limiter. Set the threshold to -2 and then the ceiling at -1. That's a hard ceiling. The threshold will kind of cushion it before it hits the ceiling too hard. The very last thing in my chain is the Loudness Meter 2. It's actually a free download, free VST. You can of course pay to get an upgraded version, which I would recommend. I'm about to do that soon actually. But this is actually how I measure all of my LUFs, which is the digital term for RMS essentially, which is your overall perceived volume throughout the whole track. And you want to get it between -8 and -11 LUFs, is what they prefer. So now I'll do an A and B comparison so you can hear the difference.
Going through a hard time right now, sometimes I feel hopeless. Then I think of my baby girl, I remain focused. Got this, I know.
Alright, so you can hear that there's a little more clarity. It's a little more even all the way across the top between the lows and the highs. And then you also have it hitting as hard as it needs to keep up with everything else that's on the streaming services these days. Alright, thanks for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And if you have any suggestions or maybe things you can add to this, feel free to let me know.
Going through a hard time right now, sometimes I feel